Hi, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about the redundancy principle. I will introduce the redundancy principle, talk about what it is, the psychology behind it, how to apply it, and the conclusion and references will follow. In the image above is a man. There is a computer mouse in his right hand. He's typing with his left hand and he's looking on a screen. What you heard me narrate to you is the same text on the screen, just below the picture. This means the on-screen text is the same as the narrated audio. This is what the redundancy principle is about. It's about avoiding overloading the visual channel of working memory of learners. And this occurs when the eyes focus both on graphics and printed words. In e-learning, the redundancy principle is present when we describe graphics using words in both on-screen text and audio narration in which the audio repeats the text. In the figure on your screen, you can see that narration goes through our ears, printed words and pictures goes through our eyes. This is how our brain accesses all this information. And whenever there is an overload on these channels, then there is redundancy. According to cognitive theory of multimedia learning, learners have separate channels for processing verbal and pictorial material or information. Each channel is limited in the amount of processing that can occur, and learners attempt to build pictorial and verbal models from the presented material and build connections between them. As a result, redundant on-screen text only puts a strenuous cognitive load on the learner, and this must be avoided by instructional designers. So how do we apply the principle of redundancy? Avoid narrating on-screen text when words and pictures are presented simultaneously. In the figure on your screen, you can see that in the multimedia information being presented, the spoken words go through the ears and the pictures go through the eyes of the learner. And this is how the brain processes information. This means on-screen text should not combine with words and pictures at the same time. The reason is when narrating on-screen text combined with pictures and words at the same time, it puts a lot of load on the cognitive processing of the learner. In conclusion, when the instructional subject consists of graphics, it is recommended that we explain with the narration alone. However, when there is limited or no graphic information on the screen, the lesson is slow-paced or learner-paced, there are technical or unfamiliar words, then consider the use of redundant on-screen text. But we also have to do this with caution. Only in peculiar situations where on-screen text does not add or subtract from the learner's processing demands, and then the principle may not apply. For example, in podcast, only the ear is assessed and so on-screen text is fine. Thank you. This is my reference. For more, you can look into this book for more information about the principle of redundancy.